Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. Audrey came back on a Sunday afternoon. She walked through the front door like nothing had changed. Same suitcase, same casual smile, same hay tossed in my direction like I was a roommate instead of her husband. But I saw it right away. It wasn't what she said. It was what she didn't do. No hug, no kiss, no "I missed you." Just distance. "You had a good trip?" I asked. She shrugged, already pulling her phone out. "Yeah, it was nice. I needed it." Needed it. That stuck with me. I nodded once. "Get ready. We're going out tonight." She looked up, a little surprised. "Out?" "Dinner," I said. 7. I didn't ask. I told her. We sat across from each other at a restaurant downtown. Nothing fancy, just a calm place where people kept to themselves. Audrey barely touched her menu. Her phone lit up twice in 5 minutes. Both times, she flipped it over like it was nothing. I leaned back in my chair, watched her. "You planning on being here tonight?" I said. "Or just physically present?" She looked up, forced a smile. "I'm here, Greg." "No," I said calmly. "You're not." That smile dropped. She shifted in her seat. "Why are you starting like this?" "I'm not starting anything," I said. "You walked in different. I'm just saying it out loud." She exhaled, long and slow, like I was the problem. "People change, Greg." "Not in a week," I said. "Not like this." Silence sat between us for a few seconds. The waiter came, took our order, left. Neither of us touched the water. Audrey folded her hands on the table. I noticed they were steady. Too steady. That's when I knew she had rehearsed this. "Greg," she said, avoiding my eyes now. "I've been thinking a lot." I nodded once. "Good. Say it." She hesitated for half a second. Then she said it. "I don't think I want to be married anymore." I didn't react, just watched her. She kept going, faster now. "This feels heavy now. Routine, pressure, all of it. I don't want that anymore. I want something lighter." I leaned forward slightly. "So, what are you saying?" I asked. She swallowed. "I think we should just be friends." There it was. Clean, simple, disrespectful. I held her gaze this time. "Friends," I repeated. She nodded, like that made sense. I let a second pass. Then I asked the only question that mattered. "There's someone else?" Her eyes flickered, just for a moment. Then she shook her head. "No, this isn't about that." I almost smiled. It was absolutely about that. I sat back again, picked up my glass, took a slow sip of water. Then I set it down and looked her dead in the eye. "All right," I said. She blinked. "What?" "I agree." That's when everything changed. Her whole body stiffened. "You... what?" She stared at me like I had just said something insane. "I said I agree," I repeated, calm. "You want to be friends? Fine." That wasn't the reaction she expected. I could see it in her face. She had come prepared for resistance, maybe even a fight. Not this. Audrey leaned forward, lowering her voice. "Greg, stop. Don't do that." "Do what?" "This, acting like it's nothing." I shrugged. "You said you don't want to be married. I'm not going to argue with someone who already made up their mind." Her jaw tightened. "It's not that simple." "It is," I said. "You don't want this. I'm not going to force you to stay." She shook her head, frustrated now. "You're twisting it. I didn't say I want to end everything. I just think we should take a step back. Be friends. Reset." I let out a short breath. "You don't reset a marriage by downgrading it." "You don't understand," she snapped. "I need space. I need to feel like myself again." I leaned in slightly, voice lower now. "Then take it. You don't need my permission." That hit her harder than anything else I said. She sat back, crossing her arms. "So, that's it? You're just okay with this?" "I'm not okay with it," I said. "I just accept reality." Silence again, this time heavier. She looked at me differently now. Not relieved, not calm, uneasy. "You're not even going to fight for us?" she asked. There it was, the real expectation. I held her gaze. "You already stepped out of this, Audrey. I'm not chasing someone who's halfway out the door." Her eyes flashed. "I'm still here. Physically," I said. "That's about it." She looked away first. The food arrived, but neither of us touched it. After a moment, she spoke again, quieter now. I thought you'd care more." I gave a small nod. I do. Just not in a way that makes me look weak. That landed. She picked up her fork, then put it back down. Her hands weren't steady anymore. You're being cold, she said. No, I replied. I'm being clear. Another pause. Then I decided to push it. If we're doing this, I said, we do it properly. No pretending, no mixed signals. You live your life. I live mine. Her head snapped back up. What does that mean? It means, I said evenly, you don't get to walk in and out of this whenever it suits you. She stared at me, searching for something. Anger, maybe. Emotion. I didn't give her any. Greg, she started, but stopped herself. I stood up, pulled my wallet out, and placed cash on the table. We're done here, I said. She didn't move. I looked down at her one last time. You wanted different. Now you have it. And for the first time that night, I saw it. Not confidence, not relief. Doubt. The shift happened fast after that dinner. Audrey didn't bring it up again. No follow-up conversation, no attempt to clarify what she meant. It was like once I agreed, she didn't know how to continue. But her behavior told me everything. She started going out more. Not once in a while, almost every other night. Different clothes, too. Dresses she hadn't worn in years. Heels on a Tuesday. Makeup that took time. Not for me. For friends, she said the first time I asked. I nodded. Of course. I didn't press. Didn't question. That's what confused her the most. One night, she walked past me while I was on the couch. I might be late, she said, grabbing her bag. I looked up briefly. Do what you want. She paused at the door. That's it? That's it. She hesitated like she expected more. Then she left. That became the pattern. Late nights, quick showers, phone always face down. And the small things, those are what confirmed it. She stopped asking me anything, stopped checking in, stopped pretending, like she had already replaced me in her mind. 3 nights later, she made a mistake. She left her phone on the kitchen counter and stepped out onto the balcony for a minute. She thought I was still in the living room. I wasn't. The screen lit up. One message. That's all it took. From a man named Edward. Still thinking about last night. You didn't let me breathe, Audrey. I didn't touch the phone right away. I just looked at it. Calm. Focused. No anger. No surprise. Just confirmation. I picked it up. Unlocked it. No password change. That told me everything I needed to know about how comfortable she'd gotten. The messages weren't subtle. Hotel bookings. Times. Messages that made it obvious. There was even one from earlier that day. Dinner with him again? Her reply, not anymore. I put the phone back exactly where it was. Same angle. Same position. Then I walked back to the living room like nothing happened. A few minutes later, she came back inside. She glanced at the counter first. Quick. Instinct. Then at me. You good? She asked. I nodded. Yeah. She studied me for a second. Like she was checking for something. Guilt has a way of doing that. You sure? She asked again. I leaned back on the couch. I said I'm good. She didn't push it, but she knew something felt off. That night, while she slept, I stayed awake. Not thinking. Planning. At some point, I got up. Her phone was on the nightstand. I picked it up, unlocked it, and sent myself everything that mattered. Messages, dates, names. Then I deleted the traces and put it back exactly where it was. That was enough. Once I have facts, I don't react. I move, quietly. The next morning, I handled things before Audrey even woke up. First call I made was to James White. We had known each other for years. He was a lawyer, sharp, direct, and not the kind of man who sugarcoated anything. We met that same afternoon at a quiet cafe across town. He didn't ask how I was doing. Just got straight to it. What do you have? He said. I showed him everything. The messages, the names, the pattern. He went through it fast, then looked up at me. You want out clean, or you want control? Both, I said. He gave a slight nod. Then you stop reacting. You document everything, and you don't let her know what you found. Already doing that. Good, he said. Next step, separate your finances quietly, and don't confront her until you're ready to finish it. I stood up. How long? That depends on how disciplined you are, he said. But if you do this right, she won't see it coming. I didn't need more than that. Over the next few days, I moved carefully, transferred money from our joint account into one she didn't know about. Not all at once, small amounts, clean. I canceled shared subscriptions, redirected statements. Everything looked normal on the surface. At home, I didn't change. That was the key. I stayed consistent, calm, unbothered. One night, Audrey walked in around 11. She smelled like perfume I didn't recognize. She dropped her keys on the counter and looked at me. "You're still up?" she asked. "Yeah." She hesitated. "I was out with friends." I nodded once. "You don't have to explain." That line hit her. She frowned slightly. "I wasn't explaining. I was just saying." "No difference," I said. She watched me for a second, like she was trying to read something. "You've changed." I met her eyes. I adjusted. That stayed with her. A few days later, I said it out loud on purpose. We were in the kitchen. She was scrolling through her phone. "Maybe you were right," I said. She looked up. "About what?" "About us," I said. "Being friends." She studied my face. "Careful." "And?" she asked. "And maybe it's better this way." That's when I saw it. Relief. Real, visible relief. She smiled slightly. "I think so too." Of course she did. Because now, in her mind, everything was working. She had freedom, no resistance, no consequences. That same night, I got a message from James. "We start the process, and if you want leverage, get a professional involved." I knew what he meant, so the next morning I made another call. A private investigator named Lucas Cole. I gave him one instruction. Don't miss anything. Because when I finished this, I wasn't leaving gaps. I was closing doors. Once Audrey felt safe, she stopped hiding. That's how it always goes. When people think there are no consequences, they show you exactly who they are. She wasn't careful anymore. Not with her time, not with her attitude, and definitely not with me. It started small, short answers, no eye contact, walking past me like I wasn't there. Then it got worse. One night, she came home close to 1 in the morning. No message, no explanation. I was in the kitchen, pouring a glass of water. She walked in, kicked off her heels, and headed straight for the hallway. "Long night?" I asked. She didn't stop. "Something like that." I took a sip. "With Edward?" That made her freeze. Slowly, she turned around. "What did you just say?" I looked at her, calm. "I asked if you were with Edward." Her face changed. Not panic, not yet. Defensive. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Don't do that," I said. "Not with me." She crossed her arms. "You've been going through my phone?" "I don't need to go through anything," I replied. "You stopped being careful." That hit. She looked away for a second, then back at me. "Even if I was seeing someone." "We agreed, Greg." "No," I said. "You said friends. Don't rewrite it." She stepped closer now, voice sharper. "Exactly. We're not together. You said you agreed." "I did," I said. "And I meant it." "Then why do you care?" she snapped. I held her gaze. "I don't care who you see. I care about what you think you can get away with." That confused her. "What is that supposed to mean?" "It means," I said evenly, "you think you can keep this house, this life, and do whatever you want on the side." Her expression hardened. "This is my house, too. Not the way you're treating it." She let out a dry laugh. "Oh, so now you want to act like the victim?" "I'm not acting like anything," I said. "I'm watching." That word landed heavier than anything else. Watching. She didn't like that. 2 days later, Lucas sent me everything. Photos, dates, times, hotel entrances, parking lots, clear shots of Audrey and Edward together. No guessing needed. It was solid, detailed, enough to end everything properly. I went through it once, didn't react, just organized it. Then I called James. "I'm ready," I said. "Good," he replied. "Then don't wait too long. Timing matters." He was right, and I already knew where it would happen. Across a table, face to face, no confusion. That night, Audrey walked in again, casual as ever. "Don't wait up next time," she said, grabbing a glass of water. "You're not my husband like that anymore." I looked at her for a second, then nodded. "Yeah," I said. "You're right." She didn't notice the difference in my tone, but she would. Very soon. 2 nights later, I told her we were eating at home. Same tone as before. No discussion. "Be home at 7, I said. She looked at me, confused. "Why?" "Dinner," I replied. She hesitated. I thought we weren't doing this anymore. We're not, I said. This is just dinner. That answer didn't sit right with her. But she agreed. At 7, she walked into the kitchen. Same kind of silence. That was intentional. Audrey noticed it too. This feels different, she said as she sat down. It'll do, I replied. She watched me carefully while we ate, trying to figure out what this was. I didn't give her anything. No small talk, no tension, just neutral. That made her uneasy. Halfway through the meal, she put her fork down. All right, she said. What is this? I wiped my hands slowly with a napkin. Then I reached into my jacket and pulled out an envelope. I placed it on the table between us. That's what this is. She stared at it. Didn't touch it. What is it? She asked. Open it. She hesitated, then picked it up. The moment she saw the first page, her face changed. Greg, she said quietly. Keep going. She flipped through the papers faster now. Her hands weren't steady anymore. Photos slid slightly out of place. Hotel timestamps, printed messages, her messages. With Edward. This is, she started, but couldn't finish. Accurate, I said. She looked up at me, eyes wide. You hired someone? I handled my situation, I replied. Her voice dropped. You went behind my back. I leaned forward slightly. You don't get to say that, I said. Not after what you've been doing. She shook her head quickly. It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. No, she insisted, leaning in now. It didn't mean anything. It was just, I was confused after the trip. I needed, don't, I cut in. Don't try to clean it up now. She froze. I tapped the papers lightly. You said you wanted to be friends. I agreed. Her breathing picked up. Greg, listen. No, I said calmly. You listen. That stopped her. You wanted freedom, I continued. You wanted to walk away from the responsibility and keep the benefits. That's not how it works. Her eyes filled, but she held it together. Barely. We can fix this, she said quickly. I made a mistake. That's all it was. I shook my head once. No, a mistake is something you correct immediately. I tapped the photos again. This is a pattern. She looked down at them, silent now, defeated, but not accepting it yet. Sign the papers, I said. Her head snapped up. Right now? Or don't, I replied. Either way, it's done. Greg, her voice cracked. You're really doing this? I held her gaze. You already did, I said. And that's when it hit her. Not slowly, all at once. She didn't sign right away. Of course she didn't. People like Audrey don't accept consequences the first time. They see them. They try to bend them. She pushed the papers back toward me slightly. We don't have to do this now. We're not, I said. You'll sign them later. Her voice got sharper. Or I won't. That's your choice, I replied. It just won't change the outcome. She stared at me, trying to find a way back in. You're overreacting, she said. This didn't have to turn into a war. It didn't, I said. You made it one. She shook her head. I told you I needed space. You agreed. I agreed to reality, I said. Not disrespect. Her tone shifted again, softer now, controlled. Greg, listen to me, she said, leaning in. I was overwhelmed. That trip, it messed with my head. Everyone was talking about freedom, about not settling. I got caught up in it. And Edward? I asked. She hesitated. He just happened. I almost laughed. Nothing just happens that many times, I said. Her composure cracked. Okay, fine, she snapped. Yes, I saw him. But it wasn't serious. It didn't mean anything. I leaned back, studying her. You keep saying that like it helps you, I said. It doesn't. Tears finally started forming in her eyes. Not dramatic, controlled, strategic. You're throwing everything away, she said, for something that could have been fixed. I shook my head slowly. No, I'm walking away from something already broken. She went quiet for a second. Then she changed tactics again. What about the house? She asked. You think you just get to decide everything? There's nothing to decide, I said. You'll read the papers. Her eyes narrowed. You've been planning this. Yes. For how long? Long enough. That answer unsettled her more than anything else. She sat back, breathing uneven now. Greg, don't walk away like this. I'm not walking away, I said. I'm finishing it. Please, she said, voice breaking now. We can fix this. I'll end it. I'll do whatever you want. I looked at her for a moment. Calm, clear. You already did whatever you wanted, I said. That was the end of that conversation. I picked up my jacket, left the envelope on the table, and walked out. Behind me, I heard her call my name. Louder this time, then again. I didn't turn around, not once. Because by the time someone starts begging, it's already too late. The divorce moved fast after that. James handled everything, clean, no delays, no loopholes left open. Audrey tried to fight it at first. Then she tried to talk. Then she tried to undo it. None of it changed anything. The evidence was already clear. The decision was already made. The house was sold. The accounts were separated. The papers were signed. Edward disappeared the moment things got serious. That part didn't surprise me. People like him don't stay when consequences show up. Audrey moved out a month later. Last I heard, she was staying with a friend across town, trying to rebuild something she helped break. I didn't follow it. I didn't need to. I moved into an apartment downtown. Started over. Quiet. Simple. No noise from the past. Some endings don't need closure conversations. They just need distance and silence. Thank you for watching.